There's a really nice new feature. I say new, I think it was in 2021 ISP3, but a new feature where you can import a different file type into the combining module for an ABM. It's going to be an IFC. That IFC is not issued for construction. It's basically the model. The reason this is so big is because in the past, all you could do is an Excel file or a KISS file. If you had a revision to that ABM, the system couldn't handle that. It would not change the pieces, it would only add to it. So you'd have to do some things like maybe possibly bringing into a different ABM project, and it got a little messy. So the IFC has the ability to track changes now, so that's why this is so big. The IFC has GUIDs in the background that it can track. It knows the pieces when they change. So to show you the file I'm bringing in, I'm going to bring in this IFC file, which is basically your model. It's what you bring into production control so you can colorize the model. That's what you're going to be importing. The one I'm going to be importing, notice there's two here. These models are actually identical. However, this one here is an IFC that is an EM11 type. The difference between the two is you can see, for one thing, the size of it. This one will import a lot quicker than this one is. There's my understanding is there's less detail in it, so you don't need all the detail just to import it in for ABM. So I'm going to import that file in. So let me point to it, and that's the particular one I want, and I'm going to import. I'm going to put that into a project in here. And it's going to go through and start coming in. And with the IFC file, you can bring in, if you've ever imported an IFC file into an estimate, you know that you can map just about any field in the IFC file in if you wanted to. I could just select the field and say, hey, I want to bring that information into a particular EPM field and set the field mapping. For this purpose, I'm not going to worry about it, but just note that's what this screen is. And then it's going to go ahead and bring everything in. Always check your import log, see if anything failed to come in. Looks like everything came in cleanly. So now I'm going to go to that import there. And here's everything that was brought in. I've got a lot of HSS, a lot of tubes here. I've got a lot of wide flange as well. Just note that the detailer may not be able to control what pieces are coming in. So that's why I've got some washers and plates, nuts, some bolts that came in, as well as typically most are going to just do tubes and beams. So now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go ahead and take this through the process, kick it over to purchasing, combine and everything to put it on a purchase order. I'm just going to go ahead and bring in the next one. So this one is a revised ABM. We'll bring in this IFC file. It has some revisions to the ABM with material climate we're working in right now. I'm hearing from lots of clients that they are seeing multiple revisions at the ABM level. I had one tell me the other day, eight revisions on the ABM level. So that's what's so good about this. So let's go to File and Import. I'm going to go combining an IFC again. And I'm going to go to my Rev B IFC, import that, and I'm going to bring it into the exact same project that I just set up a minute ago and imported into. So we'll bring it into that project, and you're going to get this screen, which if you've ever imported into production control, this looks very familiar. You get this all the time. I'm going to say add and replace, so that those revisions will take effect whenever it brings it in. I should get a mapping just like I did before. I'm just going to say okay and go through that. And then it goes through and it does its thing as far as revisions. What it did here is it just added 7 items in rather there weren't changes as far as links or anything, in other words, in this particular one. So it added 7 items into there, but it did not add all the other items again that I already had in there. All the other items are still the same, but it just added in this particular case, it added in some channel as well that wasn't in there before. So the nice thing is I can go ahead and bring that in again, and it's not going to add to all the tube that I had in there or the beams. If they're already in there and they haven't changed, it's not going to do anything to it. But it is going to bring in additional pieces, as well as if, say, like this 36-282 had changed from 46.7 to 47.7, it would have changed the length there as well. If the size changed of this 2C107, it would have changed that size as well. So all those revisions will be able to be tracked at the ABM level now, which is really, really awesome. The only thing it won't do is if I had gone through the process and gone ahead and got it on a purchase order, it won't flow through to the purchase order and change everything on the purchase order. So once you bring in your ABM again, if you had a lot of changes, it might be one of those scenarios where you go in and uncombine all that material. And then once you bring in the revised ABM, you remolt against the order you have on order and reattach to it. So this is really big in the fact that it will be able to handle the revisions at the ABM level. So hope this helps. Hope you use this. If you got any questions, let me know.